Now, folks, if you'll just gather around a little closer now. Come right in a little closer. That's it. That's fine, folks.
All right, let's go, because you know what I came in to do.
I don't get paid for overtime. I'm here to fight.
Look, you can go back to people slowing down Mayweather versus Pacquiao to make a case for Pacquiao winning. You can make a case for the Wilder fans going over the top with the glove gate and all the other excuses they made for Wilder losing. You can go through bias, tribalism, racial division, fanboyism. You can go through all of that. But we've heard it all before. What we really need is for boxing channels and media to keep it simple. Keep it simple. We shouldn't be spending days and days on a glove gate, days and days on a slow down Pacquiao Mayweather fight, days and days on whether Robert Helenius took a dive against Deontay Wilder. You know, move on. The fight's gone. It's over. Wilder won. I didn't see anything suspicious. Helenius has never had a great chin. He nearly got knocked out by Sherman and Williams. Who's knocked him out? Gerald Washington and Stu Harpers, who are not known punchers. He tried to get his punches off, left himself a little open. He was too square. Wilder caught him. He went down. It's as simple as that. It's over. You know, boxers are not robots. They make mistakes. And look where both of his hands are when he gets caught. It wouldn't take much of a punch to put him over. People talking about the whole arm wasn't extended when it landed. Look where both his hands are. Now, if you don't support Deontay Wilder, which I don't, then you might try and use this to throw shade on his legacy, his reputation, etc., etc. But that's the problem, isn't it? That's the problem we have. This tit for tat, immature dialogue. Well, hardly a dialogue, really. This immature narratives that run across the boxing landscape. Rather than getting the fighters to fight each other, then create narratives to build up your fighter as something they're not. I don't want to talk about whether the KO was legal or not. I didn't see the commission pull it up. It's a waste of time. It must be the most immature forum of where people talk sports boxing. But ultimately, it's up to you and what channels you support and subscribe to. If they're doing this clickbait, shot jock thing, it's up to you. Now, if it's all done tongue-in-cheek and for humour, cool. But when they're pretending that they're serious, slowing down film and, oh, I've got this angle to look at it, and it's total nonsense, and they're pretending that they don't have an agenda. They're pretending that this is actual serious boxing analysis when it's blatant narrative pushing against a fighter they don't like. And look, you can say, Beats, you did this. I'm trying to move forward. I'm trying to move the discussion forward. We need to hold certain people to what they're supposed to deliver. We don't need all this bullcrap. It's just a waste of time, total waste of time. Like I saw one of them who referred to me as they when I was on a White Channel's hangout. Oh, you let they or them, he's part of them or they or whatever he said, yeah? And because his name suggests that he's from the same part of the world as Helenius, he's making this big deal that the punch was doctored. He really thought Helenius was going to beat Wilder. You're a fucking idiot. Let me make this clear before anyone is saying, oh, Beats is all kumbaya. No, I ain't no kumbaya. I don't like a lot of them motherfuckers who support certain fighters. But cut the BS. Cut the BS. Which way is Wilder going to go? Is he going to go hard and try and get this USYK fight? Try and bring 3 belts back to America? Or is he going to go for the Andy Ruiz domestic clash? Now the PBC is going to have to match the money that USYK has been getting at DAZN and Matchroom. Are they prepared to go there? USYK is a free agent at the moment. Andy Ruiz, he's used to that PBC ceiling, that PBC money. His last 2 pay-per-views, here's a couple of figures there. 125, they're saying for the Areola fight. And depending what source you go to, 40 to 60,000 for the Ortiz fight. So he's easy to pay for a Wilder fight. If Andy starts barking off that he wants 10 million to fight Wilder, they're going to say, well, look at your numbers for your last 2 pay-per-views. But then again, Wilder, by the sounds of it, is not exactly bringing them out of their wallets. Despite the fan base saying he's some grand national hero and an all-time legend in the sport and whatever, the public ain't buying it. He's been knocked out twice in his last 3. And the Helenius fight isn't going to be enough for America to back him in numbers, in mass. If they didn't have the conflict in the Ukraine, Wilder might end up having to travel over there if he wanted to fight. Like he nearly had to go to Russia to fight Povetkin. But they've got the conflict over there, so that can't be happening. I remember USYK saying he wants the AJ fight to be in Ukraine. I don't see much boxers traveling over there to do that. You know what I mean? But they could make it work out there. Klamus and Khrushchev, they'd make it work out there. Wilder would get a good purse. Let's see if PBC can handle the business. That's what we need to see, because USYK is a free agent. So if anything is going to happen between him and Wilder, it's up to the PBC to get it done. Just like the Terence Crawford situation. Terence is a free agent. Get it done. Or continue to do these low-budget pay-per-view productions like Wilder HELENIUS. Let's see if Wilder can put this gambling on himself or betting on himself thing into practice. I mean, if you look at it from the PBC's vantage, I'd rather gamble on Wilder against USYK than Caleb Plant against Canelo. They gave Canelo 40 mil. This is a better gamble. Go for it. But look, Wilder versus HELENIUS was a tune-up, warm-up fight. Everybody knew it. It is what it is. According to Rick Geezer, you know him as Glazer, I call him Geezer because he's full of geezer gas. The numbers are going to be shockingly low for the Wilder HELENIUS fight. Won't know the number for a few days, but told it tracked very poorly. Well, $74.99 for that fight there. It was never the greatest idea to make that pay-per-view, but they've probably made Wilder certain guarantees, and this was their only chance of trying to make that guarantee. And whatever they're paying Wilder, they're going to have to pay USYK more. He's the champion. Are they prepared to do that? I wonder if Wilder thinks I'm 50-50 with USYK. USYK's got 3 straps. You have none. You're not a voluntary for one of them straps. I don't want to get into A or B side, but these are the facts. Now, Rick Geezer is probably going to tell us that it done 50 pay-per-view buys, but if he says it done 50, I'll say 70. Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank Sr. are currently doing a joint speaking engagement called the Trilogy Tour all around Britain. And they did address the situation with Conor and Chris Jr. And Nigel said if he thought that his son was taking PEDs to fight Chris, he would hang him out there. He says, son, I love you, but you're all on your own. And then he went on to say that him and Chris did a Zoom call on TalkSport. And Chris was saying his son can't make 157. It's attempted murder. Don't do this, don't do this. And this is after the adverse finding results with Conor. Chris was saying his son can't make the weight safely. This fight can't go ahead. And Nigel said, well, your son chose the weight. He agreed to it. What are you on about? And then Nigel said he saw a picture of Chris still boiling down to make 157. And he said he looked emaciated, and he phoned up Chris and apologised and said, I didn't realise it was that bad. And he asked Chris for his forgiveness. And he said this fight is not going to happen until he clears his son's name. And he told Conor that the fight has to happen at 160 if they reschedule it. Nigel then said he believed that Jesus stopped the fight from going ahead because he believed that Conor would have did what he did to Gerald McClellan to Chris. Chris responded and said, yeah, he had the conversation with Nigel on TalkSport advertising the tour, and he was pleading with Nigel, but he didn't want to plead too much being the man he is. So he had to kind of mask how he was really feeling, how anxious he was about how much he didn't want the fight to go ahead. And Nigel said, well, if you stop it, there's a £300,000-200,000 fine to pay. And Chris said, no problem, I'll pay it. I'll pay it. And obviously, CONORGATE came soon after that, and the fight was scrapped. Troy Williamson, he takes on Josh Kelly in Newcastle, December the 2nd. Both men have been talking big that they're going to win this British title fight at 154. It will be a popular trade fight in the UK. Big night for Channel 5. I believe after Josh Kelly outpointed the Argentinian Lucas Batista, they went face-to-face at the arena and had a couple of words. So it all goes down on Channel 5. 154-pound British title at stake. Neither man has been in great form recently. You know, Kelly lost to David Avanesian early 2021, bust his unbeaten bubble. Troy burst on the scene and had the standout win against Ted Cheeseman where he knocked him out in an excellent fight. Excellent fight. And he hasn't really, well, at least in the David Benavidez fight, his debut on Channel 5, he didn't look that good. And Josh hasn't looked $1 million in his comeback fights on Channel 5 either. So it's all to play for. My opinion, all British title fights should be free to air. Terrestrial television. Not saying that the satellites can't air British title fights, but they should allow the terrestrial television to get a part of that. At least the delayed recording an hour after. I think Troy's a little more robust, although it's hard to tell. He was on the canvas against Cartwright. It's hard to say. Kelly looks a bit fragile around the skin. He cut last time out, and he got cut against David Avanesian pretty badly. I don't know. If Troy can find that Ted Cheeseman form, I could see him winning, but maybe Josh has just got too much skills for him. We'll see. Mike Coppinger, he believes he's got the source on this one that Josh Taylor and Jack Catterall have agreed to meet on February the 4th for the much anticipated rematch. Josh recently split with Ben Davison and has hooked up with Joe McNally. He said he's getting a new refreshing start with Joe McNally. Wasn't Ben Davison a new refreshing start when you left Shane McGuigan? As Boxing Scene says here, as the mandatory obligations were piling up, Josh Taylor was forced to vacate the IBF, WBA, WBC world titles in order to stay on track with a fight against Catterall. But Josh will tell you that he let go of all 3 titles to make the fight happen. And in theory, he could be right. He could be right. Other people might call bullshit though. Looking forward to it. Hopefully no controversies this time. We have a clear-cut winner.
So we went from the Bum of the Month tour to I'm fighting bums every fight of my career tour. David Benavidez takes on UZCATEGUI or UZCATEGUI. Nobody can pronounce this motherfucker's name.
Now on a serious tip, Michael Jackson wants to know. Now, UZCATEGUI got busted for PEDs about a year ago when he was scheduled to face David Benavidez. Fight was cancelled. He's fought opponents with records of 20-18, 9-4-0, and another one 21-19-1. Since 2019, he's had 3 fights. So, what has he done since the fight was cancelled? What has he done since he lost to Caleb Plant, challenging for that vacant IBF belt? What has he done since he beat Andre Dirrell in 2018? He lost 2 fights in 2019, Caleb Plant and Lionel Thompson, and managed to beat 10-9-1 Roberto Valdez in between. Hasn't beat no ranked opponents. His claim to fame came in 2018 when he beat Andre Dirrell. Now, Caleb Plant beat this guy in 2019 for the IBF title. Had a spectacular knockout on Saturday to rebound from the Canelo Alvarez fight. But instead of the PBC matching Plant with Benavidez, we get this matchup. Maybe Caleb don't want it. The Benavidez supporters are going to say nobody wants to fight him. Well, there's an issue there, isn't it? If you're saying that Charlo and Plant don't want to fight him, there's an issue there over on that side of the street. It's predictable what's going to happen. During the build-up of this fight with UZCATEGUI, it's going to be all about Canelo. Canelo this, Canelo that, how he won't fight him. And when he beats UZCATEGUI, oh, this is the man Canelo needs to fight. I'd rather see the winner out of Bivol and Zerdo. If the PBC can't get these matches together, whether it's Crawford Spence, Garcia Tank, or Charlo Benavidez, Plant Benavidez, I don't see why Canelo should ride in and save Showtime, because that's what it is basically. Every time Benavidez is in match with this garbage opposition, all we hear is Canelo, Canelo, Canelo. Where's David Morrell? All the talk he does and all the talk I hear about him, where's he? Luis Ortiz, he believes a deathly outcome awaits Andy Ruiz if he faces Deontay Wilder. He'll kill Andy Ruiz. Well, okay, let's not play semantics. I don't think he actually means he'll kill Andy like a funeral parlor and all that. It's more a metaphor that he'll beat his ass, yeah? He'll beat his ass.
They need to beat his ass some more.
And that's a distinct possibility. He goes into the fight a favourite, but Ortiz was actually ahead on some of the scorecards when he fought Wilder first and the second time. In fact, he nearly stopped Wilder in the first fight, and the state commission gave Wilder precious seconds at the end of the interval. For what reason, I don't know. He wasn't cut or anything. So why would I believe Ortiz when he says that Wilder would kill Andy, when Andy beat Luis Ortiz, dropped him twice and won pretty convincingly? I think it's a tough ask for Andy to win, but he's capable of giving Wilder a good fight, and he's capable of getting slapped out of there early like a lot of heavyweights. It's resume maintenance by Luis Ortiz. That's what this is. Because if Andy Ruiz knocks Wilder out, what does that do? It lessens Ortiz's standing in the heavyweight division. He doesn't want no one to beat Deontay Wilder unless it's him. I agree with Ortiz when he says that Wilder should pursue the USYK fight for 3 belts. Yes, and the Joshua fight. I believe he should too. But he also ended the article saying that Andy should rematch him. So it's resume maintenance, and it's him trying to get a fight because there's no real paydays left for Luis Ortiz at the PBC. He's been used up. The 2 premier heavyweights there are Ruiz and Wilder, and they've both beat him. He's not going to take on Frank Sanchez in an all-Cuban showdown. What's left? So he's trying to hang on to a Andy Ruiz payday. Okay, done shit pay-per-view numbers, but 50 grand is better than 1 grand, isn't it? He's getting on. You pick any number from early 40s and 50s, he's getting on. So he's got to do what he's got to do. I get it. I do believe he believes that Wilder would beat Ortiz. I do believe he believes that. But there's more ulterior motives to what he's saying than what appears on the surface. I actually agree with Ortiz, though. I think Wilder should go straight into a USYK fight if it's there. Just go for the free belts while the opportunity's there. Now, there's two arguments depending which way you sway. Does Wilder really want to fight the tricky USYK in case he runs into AJ problems? And is USYK actually clout chasing off Wilder? Or do they both want to fight? They've just got to negotiate and get it done. Wilder was saying he didn't want to scare off USYK by looking too devastating against HELENIUS. Not being funny, you can't really scare people off by knocking out HELENIUS. Still awaiting an announcement for Dillian Whyte. They say he's going to fight Jermaine Franklin. That's not a bad return fight considering the nature of the Tyson Fury fight where he didn't show up. And I guess you would have to say it was one of Tyson Fury's best performances. Franklin 21-0, 14 knockouts. He's beat the likes of Jerry Forrest, Rydell Booker. They're the recognizable names. He couldn't get rid of Pavel Soa, if that's how you pronounce. Took him the whole 10 rounds, and Nathan Gorman got rid of him in 3. So, fair to say, not a big banger. It's good matchmaking, an undefeated, capable fighter. He's got some talent, but probably doesn't pose a threat to Dillian, who's been knocked out 3 times. So at least for now, they won't be looking to match him up with massive punches right now until he finds his stride again. So it looks like Dillian's going to be staying with Matchroom, fight-to-fight basis, free agent. There was talk of him going over to Sky, but he'll be the main event against Franklin. And they're talking about Fabio Wardley versus Nathan Gorman for the British title. Nice co-main event. Should be on Channel 5, free to air, in all truth. They should make all British title fights free to air. I could be selfish and say I don't care because I get it as part of my DAZN subscription, but no, it should be free to air. It should be free to air. Not everybody can afford subscriptions and whatever it takes to view these events. Nathan Gorman signed up with Wasserman to fight on Channel 5. As soon as he's fighting for the British title, Nice and Cali are bringing him over to DAZN because there's more money. They're not even trying to build up that Channel 5 platform, really, if you're taking British heavyweight titles off there. Let's do it! Women's boxing made some big steps this year. Serrano versus Taylor at the MSG. Apparently some media outlet is claiming that Katie Taylor is the most marketable boxer. If it's true, congrats. Savannah Marshall versus Clarissa Shields. 2 million people viewed it according to Sky, and that's not illegal streams, and that's just the UK market. That's excellent. I wouldn't be surprised if Tyson Fury didn't fight at all this year. Remember 2020 he was supposed to be fighting, was it Carlos Takam at one stage, then it was Caballero, obviously the Wilder fight got postponed that year. And he didn't end up fighting at all. After all the noise that he needed to tune up, he needed to warm up. And I'm just not sure because Derek is now saying that there is no fight. He didn't get a contract, it's just a rumour. But Eddie said that 258 did get a contract from Team Fury. They got 2 contracts. They got one in August and they got one this month. The first one Eddie said was not satisfactory. Frank said more than likely Tyson Fury will be fighting Derek, but Derek's saying there's no fight. Is Derek just being a little cautious, not giving away too much, and the big announcements coming? I don't know. The second fight on a domestic level had a bit of a buzz. Not a worldwide buzz, just a domestic buzz. But it was way more one-sided than everybody predicted, and it's got most people who saw it asking... You'd be hard-pressed to find anybody who really wants to see this fight. Hard-pressed. Apart from Frank Warren and Tyson Fury, and John Fury, and Tommy Fury, and Tyson's wife Paris, and his kids, and Derek Chisora, Payday. Back with Don Charles. Is there any positives? Is there anything Derek can change from the second fight? I heard Hasim Rahman Jr. when quizzed about this fight. He said, well, third fight, 2 losses on the bounce. This might be the one. Upset alert. Yeah, you never know.